In this series, we are touring the UK and Ireland looking for the energy solutions of the future. Is there a sustainable energy solution to our energy needs? We meet some prominent individuals and companies spearheading development of sustainable energy. And we ask them, how will the world make the transition? And when will it happen? Are we there yet? Today I have the pleasure of meeting with John Waldron, Head of Policy Development, Power CCUS at the Department for Energy Security and Net Zero. Welcome to Future Models, John.
Lovely to be here and lovely to talk to you about Power CCUS today.
Firstly, John, can you explain what the role is of the Power CCUS team within the Department for Energy Security and Net Zero?
Yes, and I think I should start by saying what is CCUS and what is Power CCUS. So CCUS is carbon capture, usage and storage. And in the power sector context, we don't focus much on the usage, because the scale of using CO2 in low carbon products is not able to match the scale of CO2 that we'd be capturing in the power sector. Power CCUS, we mean power generation with that carbon capture and storage applied to it. In the UK context, that is predominantly gas generation with carbon capture and storage. But we do also have policies and are developing policies to support biomass-fired generation with carbon capture and storage. And that's what we call Power BECCS. The team develops the policies to support the technology in coming forward, because government sees it as an important part of the decarbonised energy system of the future. Power
CCUS isn't necessarily the one answer. It definitely forms part of that wider need to actually provide a full suite of capabilities for the industry. Is that how you see it within the department?
Yes, yeah, no. So the department, the strategy we've laid out in the department through various documents over several years has been to develop all of the different low carbon generation options. And that is deliberate because we need that optionality. And so all the technologies that are developing, we can't deploy them all at 100% straight away. We need to develop them, work out which ones are coming down the cost curves quickest, which ones are easiest to deploy and have the least barriers, and then to have those choices later on. So it's not, at the moment we see it, there's not a question of we should support this low carbon technology or that one. We're trying to support all technologies and bring forward that optionality and leave those decisions around exact technology mix to the market in the future.
And how do you see the role of CCUS supporting existing power generation stations?
So we're clear that we think that CCUS can be applied to new build gas-fired power stations or existing stations, and we would call that retrofit. And those retrofit options are important because there's a lot of assets on the system which have a lot of life left within them. And we don't want to prematurely be forcing assets to decommission as we move through this transition to a decarbonised system. On top of that, there's benefits in terms of the existing assets have grid connections, they have planning approval, the communities they're hosted within understand what it means to have a power station within their area. And I think that's a point that's worth not underselling because it is a complex logistical task to build a new power station, and therefore applying carbon capture technology to prolong the life of one that's already on the system is a very valuable way to do that.
No, I suppose it's important that, as I said, they have that. It's not just about the generation, it's obviously about limiting the carbon that's generated as a result of that generation as well, which I suppose is going to be really important for those, again, for those net zero targets that we've got for 2050. Within CCUS, do we see that as an interim solution to meet those 2050 targets, or is it more of an enduring solution?
I mean, in all of our modelling, and the majority of modelling I've seen done by external experts, there is a role for Power CCUS and CCUS more generally, right out to 2050 and beyond. It's not a short-term solution. And developing the CCUS technology will help other global economies decarbonise that are still using huge amounts of coal in their electricity mix or huge amounts of gas and fossil fuels in their industries. So the UK, being a leader in developing the solutions, could have a much bigger decarbonisation impact on a global scale in the longer term.
That's really interesting, John. It's clear that CCUS is not just here to help us achieve that target, but to maintain that commitment way beyond 2050. Thanks for your time today, John.
Thank you very much.